Good morning, Year 2C. I hope you had a lovely weekend. So for our grammar lesson today, we are looking at changing a word from singular to plural. I'll explain that in a moment, but I've got to say I really enjoy this lesson. I actually see it as a bit of a game, so I hope you do as well. And we'll look at it as well next week. So if there's only one of something, it's singular, it's single. If there's more than one, so a group, say a group of people, it's plural, okay? So singular and plural. Now, we already know that for a lot of objects, so nouns, we just add the letter S to the end to show that it's a group and not just one. For example, let's write down a girl, okay? And then to say there's a group of girls, I just add an S. So there's Chandel and Srutika and everyone in class. And then, for example, again, boy, group of boys, let's add the S, okay? Like Ali and Mohammed all in my class again. I wish we were back. So that's really nice, isn't it? Just add an S. However, this lesson, we are looking at making it a little bit trickier, because you might have noticed sometimes when we're changing it to show a group, so a plural, it's ES on the end. For example, I think we've had in a couple of tests lately, a fox, okay, group of foxes. It's not just S, we have got ES on the end, and you might wonder why. And I wonder why as well, okay? It's to do with our phonics, it's how we say it, okay? We need that vowel in between it, you see. But don't worry too much about that. But it's ES. So, on my PowerPoint, I have given you some different sounds here. So whenever you see one of these 6 sounds at the end of the word, you know that it is going to be ES, not just S. And I'm afraid, again, it's just something that we're going to have to learn. But I know you're going to get so confident with this because you're all superstars with your English, okay? So happy with you. So let's think of an example. I wish we were talking together in class. I'm going to go for a brush. If I see that word brush, there's my sound. So I know more than one, so a plural, brushes. And what about CH, the ch sound? There's not many words actually out there with the ch at the end of a word. I do know one, which is church. And if you have more than one church in an area or a neighbourhood, there are churches. Okay? And probably the most popular one that you'll see around is the double S. There are quite a few words that end in this, such as a glass. So to have a glass of juice. Now we can't just put another S on the end, because even just looking at it, I think, oh, that doesn't look right. It's always going to be double S, ES. Looks so much nicer. Okay? And can you think of one more for an S? Let's go for another that's quite popular on a test, a bus. And there are buses waiting outside our school to take us home after a hard day at school. And fox again, foxes. And for a Z, I'm not sure I can think of one for a Z. You might have to put it underneath the comments for me, under the lesson. Okay, that's your challenge. Think of a word that ends in Z, a noun, an object, and see if you can make it a plural for me. Okay? Now the last one I just want to touch on is, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, but miss, what if a word ends in a Y? Okay? So for example, butterfly, which we have looked quite a lot in science, okay? Now, if it ends in a Y, we actually have a different set of words, letters, sorry, to put on the end. So usually, if we want to make something plural, we end it in an S, which is so nice, or we can see today an ES. However, there's also another way, which we're not going to look at today, maybe next week, and that is IES. Okay? So, what would butterfly become? Butterflies. There we go. Okay? So like I said, we are not looking at this way because it's actually quite tricky. I don't want you to worry about this way to make it plural. Okay? But as a challenge, after your lesson, you might want to find other words that end in a Y, and then can you find out for me what they would be if it was plural? And here's an example. The butterfly. There we go. Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my chat with my little whiteboard, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on with your lesson. Okay? And of course, I'm always on Edmodo if you need any help at all.